Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the ADK channel. Today's video, Andy and Kirk have no idea what's coming towards them, and actually I've never actually seen this video either, so it's going to be a completely true reaction. We won't talk during the video, but we will share our thoughts and feelings at the end. So let's go check out today's video. Okay, there we go. So that was Dexcore, and the song was Self-Hatred. I'm not going to kick this one off. I have some questions. I've definitely got some questions going on about this video and what was going on and about the song itself. But I think we throw this over to our resident death metal, deathcore, metalcore extreme guy, Kirk. You can give your first thoughts on this particular song.
They're image-wise. You'd think are they from Japan, by the way?
They are, yes.
You'd think this was Japan's My Chemical Romance, wouldn't you? In the image, and musically, they're nothing like that.
They're a visual key. They're a visual key metalcore, deathcore band.
But first observation: there's no way that song needs to be over 6 minutes. I think it went beyond 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't see how that's justifiable. It's like they've listened to one Meshuggah album and one Periphery album and thought, we'll use their guitar tunings, but we're just not going to bother with the polyrhythms or any of the weird jazz fusion phrasing, and we're just going to play our guitars like Korn and Cold Chamber. Now, that actually was quite successful, though. So I'm not overly critical of that, because there's a real bounce to that, wasn't there, Dave? You know, to that song, good groove to it. And with those guitar tunings, you're always going to be heavy, aren't you? I thought the vitriolic hardcore vocals were excellent and really strong. And do you know the chorus where the most sorrowful vocals come in? I need to know, is that a man or a woman?
Okay, so I was having a quick look up about the what I thought was a female vocalist, with him doing some additional lower vocals underneath, which is what I thought was going on in the chorus. There is no mention of any secondary vocalist on that song. So there's no guest vocalist or anyone else like that. So it's either someone else in the band is doing it, which the first question then would be, why are we not seeing that in the video? Because if you've got a second vocalist doing that, I'd like to see who that is doing the vocals and get them in for the video. But I believe it's possibly the actual singer singing in that tone, which would be very interesting to see that weird range. I didn't like the clean vocals. I would have much preferred that stayed as a heavy vocal all the way through. To me, the song is a mix of, it's a balance of two songs. There's a really good song in there, and then there's a very weak song in there. And for me, the chorus was the weakest part of that track. I just didn't get it, didn't vibe or connect with me.
I'm not inclined to agree with that. To me, I thought that was one of the strong points. Listen how sophisticated that clean voice was when it hit that falsetto note. I was really impressed by that. You can tell that they've put a lot of work into that, you know, the vocalist, to try and get that technique in there. Maybe you think it seems a bit contrived that they've forced it in there. Very overproduced though, wasn't it? Again, that's going to be very difficult to reproduce on a live stage. But at the same time,
they're going to have to use a lot of, they're going to have to be using a backing track, because there's also, during the guitar riffs over the verse, there's two guitar parts going with a single, and one guitarist can't play both those parts that they were playing. She was playing like the chuggy riff, and there's a guitar fill going, which means they must use laptops and have playback going during their live sets to play those parts.
What were they doing, do you know, after the first chorus? Is it me? Did it go to like a lo-fi stereo setting where the volume levels dropped purposely? I was like, what's going on here? And then they came back in. It just wanted the vocals to...
Maybe. I didn't make a note of that.
Oh, did you not? But the musicianship was of a good standard. I always ask myself, if I'm critical of a song, could I do better? And the answer is no. I couldn't write better than them. You know, they're good, they're decent musicians. Bit too busy, to use your word. A lot going on. There is a sense of excitement, but you wonder if it's overzealous. Are they trying too hard at times to be heavy? Which seems like an absurd criticism, but even with the breakdown, you know, that deathcore moment, again, over the top, I would say there. I think they are relying too much on Pro Tools, on digital wizardry to get that sound. And I know I sound like a snob here, and let's be honest, this is a band that will really offend metal elitists who sit in dark rooms listening to Neurosis, Wolves in the Throne Room, bands like that. They're going to hate this, aren't they? I wouldn't call it gent, by the way. Just because you've got the guitar tunings, you've not got that onomatopoeia of the downward palm muting going gent to gent to gent. There's hardly any palm muting in it. That's why it reminded me of like a new metal throwback. But yeah, do you know what? Again, I'd give it a second listen just because there's so much going on. And if you do that, that's a triumph. If you get my attention, I don't know what it is, and I'm not sure if I like it, and I want to go back to it just to find out, I think you're doing something right.
Fair enough. Andy, what did you think, mate?
Well, it's more fury and chaos from the Far East, isn't it? You know, similar to what we've already sort of looked at in this session. I picked up sort of 3 or 4 different vocal style deliveries from that person. I'm going to use the word they because they had an androgynous look, so I don't know, you know, what gender they will call themselves, that particular front person, but it's very, very talented. I thought she had a great delivery, great range of vocals, and I'd give them a little bit more than good musicianship. Kirk, I know I'd say it's quite a high standard. I was quite impressed with what they were playing, and I agree with you though. They couldn't do that live, not without additional musicians or, you know, backing tracks and you know, laptops and effects and things. Again, like you, I'd want to go back and check it out again to try and sort of take it all in, because there's a lot going on. Not your standard song structure either. So, yeah. Again, another interesting band that it's hard to say whether you enjoy, like or dislike on first listen. You need to sort of go back to it numerous times just to sort of take in exactly what was going on. And I'm surprised you didn't pick up on this. The front person sort of obviously went to the Robert Smith School of stage makeup as well. I did, yeah. That's not a criticism, by the way. It's just an observation. Obviously, yeah, that's not a derogatory comment. But yeah, I think I enjoyed that. I will do more so if and when I sort of check it out again. But there's a lot going on. Very talented, very creative. It's not going to strike well with, like, as you said, Kirk, you know, the majority of the metal audience. It's not everybody's bag, everybody's cup of tea, but you've got to appreciate, you know, the effort they're putting in. So, you know, trying to create something a little bit different.
Fair enough. I'm just going to do a very quick wrap up from my thoughts on it, which was so deathcore, metalcore. I don't know enough about the various nuances of the separations of different types of bands, so they all do sound quite similar to me. I didn't hear much apart from the massive changes in the vocals that were standout. Musicianship is great across the board, so they were very, very good musicians, but it wasn't anything that I haven't heard from other kind of deathcore, metalcore bands. There wasn't anything to make me go, "Ooh, that's different." We did Jaluka before that. I haven't heard anyone do anything like Jaluka. that made me sort of stand up. So it's I'm not prepared to judge a band based on one song. So I'd need to not necessarily hear that one again, but I would like to hear a couple more tracks from them just to kind of get an idea if it's a band that it's something I would want to spend time, invest time and get into them, because there's parts of that track I did like. There were some bits like the breakdown, I was like, okay, it's a generic deathcore, metalcore breakdown. I'm like, yeah, we knew that was coming at some point in the song. So there was, whereas some people, that's more from a live point of view. When you get that live, everyone's waiting for that drop to hit. But from an album point of view, I'm like, okay, it's something that's just going to come in at some point, and then it's going to go off and do another thing. Although I didn't like the vocals on the chorus, as far as I didn't like the vibe of the song, not that his actual vocal technique or anything like that, I just didn't like what the chorus was doing to the song, from where it went from the verse into the chorus. It just didn't flow naturally for me. But I want to know on other songs that they've done or they've released if there's something a bit different. Maybe another song will connect. And you know what happens sometimes, one song you don't connect with, but once you do find a song that you do connect with and then go back to the songs that you didn't, you suddenly can appreciate them more. So I wonder if that's going to be something that will happen, but I'm not prepared to write them off. It's just I'd like to know a bit more about them and check them out. So there we go. That is Dexcore and Self-Hatred. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on our videos sometime very soon. Take care.